First words with Peppa Pig. Level 2, Mr. Fox's van. Meet Peppa, Freddy Fox and Mr. Fox. Learn all, at, be, black, did, do, have, knew, there, they, under, want, white. Read, things, banjo, rope, petrol, bike. Freddy Fox had a new bike and a new hat. The hat was black and white. Freddy went to see Peppa with the new bike and the new hat. He put on the black and white hat. I have a new bike and a new black and white hat. They come from my dad's van, said Freddy Fox. Do you have a bell on the bike? Said Peppa. No, if I want a bell, my dad will have a new one in the van, said Freddy Fox.
Wow!
Mr. Fox has a lot of things in his van. They went to find Mr. Fox's van. Mr. Fox did have a new bell in the van. I had a bell in the back under the hats, said Mr. Fox.
Wow!
If you want a new thing, there will be one in the van. Do you have a cup in the van? Said Peppa. Mr. Fox did have a cup in there. Mr. Fox had lots of cups at the back under the bikes. You have a lot of things in the van, they all said. If you want a new thing, there will be one in the van, said Mr. Fox.
Hooray!
Do you have a banjo in the van? Said Peppa. Mr. Fox did have a banjo at the back under the cups.
Wow!
You have a lot of things in there, they all said. If you want a new thing, there will be one in the van, said Mr. Fox. Do you have a tree in the van? Said Peppa. Mr. Fox did have a tree in the van.
Wow!
Do you want this tree? It was at the back, under the lamp, said Mr. Fox.
Wow!
You have a lot of things in there, they all said. If you want a new thing, there will be one in the van, said Mr. Fox. Do you have a hen in the van? Said Peppa. Mr. Fox did have a hen in the van. I've got this black hen in a white box. It was at the back under the clock, said Mr. Fox.
Wow!
You have a lot of things in there, they all said. If you want a new thing, there will be one in the van, said Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox and Freddy went to the van. Mr. Fox has a lot of things in the van, said Peppa. If you want a new thing, there will be one in the van, they all said. The van did not go. One thing Mr. Fox did not have in the van was petrol. Do you have a rope in the van? Said Peppa. Mr. Fox did have a rope in the van.
Hooray!
I have a lot of things in the van, but I must have petrol too, said Mr. Fox. The end. Read it yourself with Peppa Pig playing football. Pig and Susie Sheep are playing tennis. To you, Peppa, says Susie. To you, Susie, says Peppa. George wants to play tennis too. You can't play tennis, George, says Peppa. But you can be the ball boy. You have to get the ball for me and Susie. Peppa and Susie love playing tennis. Ball boy, says Peppa. George has to get the ball, so he runs and runs. George does not love tennis. Peppa's friends are here. They want to play too. We can play football, says Danny Dog. Hooray! Everyone cheers. Everyone loves football. The friends get into teams. They have a boys' team and a girls' team. Pedro Pony is in goal for the boys and Rebecca Rabbit is in goal for the girls. Richard Rabbit gets the ball. He runs and runs. He kicks the ball past Peppa and Susie Sheep.
Wow.
Then Richard kicks the ball past Rebecca and into the net. Go! Says Danny Dog. Hooray! Cheered the boys. Rebecca Rabbit gets the ball. She runs past Pedro Pony. Next, she throws the ball into the net. Go to me, says Rebecca. It's not fair, says Pedro. Rebecca does not get a goal, says Danny. You can't throw the ball in. Daddy Pig is here. I will help you, he says. The next team to get a goal will be the winners. Richard Rabbit has the ball. He runs and runs. Then he kicks it into Pedro's net. Go! The boys win! Cheers Danny Dog. It's not fair, says Peppa. But the ball went into the boys' own net, says Daddy. So it's an own goal. The girls cheer. Hooray! It is fair, says Peppa. We win. Everyone loves football. The end. Read it yourself. Peppa Pig. Daddy Pig's office. Peppa and George are here to see Daddy Pig's office.
Wow.
What do you do at the office? Asked Peppa. You will see, says Daddy Pig. This is the intercom, says Daddy Pig. Can I press the button? Asked Peppa. Yes, says Daddy Pig. Peppa says hello into the intercom. This is the lift, says Daddy Pig. Can I press the button? Asked Peppa. Let George have a go this time, says Daddy Pig. George presses the lift button. The lift goes up to Daddy Pig's office.
Wow.
Daddy Pig, Peppa and George all go in. This is Mrs. Cat, says Daddy Pig. Hello, Mrs. Cat, says Peppa. This is Mr. Rabbit, says Daddy Pig. Hello, Mr. Rabbit, says Peppa. Peppa and George are here to see the office, says Daddy Pig. This is what I do at my desk, says Mr. Rabbit. He stamps paper with a stamp. Can I have a go? Asks Peppa. Yes, says Mr. Rabbit. Stamp, stamp, stamp. This is what I do at my desk, says Mrs. Cat.
Meow.
She has a computer and a printer.
Wow.
Can I have a go? Asked Peppa. No, let George have a go now, says Daddy Pig. Mrs. Cat lifts George up. He has a go on the computer and printer. Print, print, print. Peppa and George are printing with Mrs. Cat's printer.
Hooray!
Look at all this paper, says Mrs. Cat.
Meow.
It's time to go and see my desk, says Daddy Pig. Do you have a stamps and a computer? Asked Peppa. No, says Daddy Pig, but I have pens. Pens are the best. Can I have a go? Asked Peppa. Peppa and George like Daddy Pig's pens. This is good, says Peppa. Draw, draw, draw. Time to go now, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig's office is good.
Wow.
I like Mr. Rabbit's job and I like Mrs. Cat's job, but I like your job the best, Daddy, says Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa at the farm. Peppa and George have come to help Mrs. Badger at the petting farm. Oh, says Mummy Pig, looking around. Where's Mrs. Badger? Mrs. Badger, calls Peppa. Where are you? Let's look inside the barn, says Mummy Pig. Found you, Mrs. Badger, says Peppa.
Hooray!
Hello, my lovelies. Mrs. Badger takes everyone to see the chickens. Now, where have they got to? She says. Chickens, calls Peppa. Where are you? Tractor, shouts George. We're looking for chickens, George, says Peppa, not tractors. Daddy Pig helps George open the tractor's door. Well done, George, says Daddy Pig. You found the chickens. After they feed the chickens, Mrs. Badger shows everyone some little baby chicks.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, she says, one has wandered off. Little chickie chick, calls Peppa. Where are you? Peppa hears something in the bush. Found you, chicky chick, says Peppa. Next, Mrs. Badger takes everyone to see the guinea pigs. One guinea pig seems to be hiding, she says. It's all fun and games here at the farm, says Mummy Pig, giggling. Little guinea pig, calls Peppa. Where are you? George spots something inside the hutch. George found him, cries Peppa. Thank you for your help today, my lovelies, says Mrs. Badger. Now everyone is where they should be. That was fun, says Mummy Pig. But wait, where's Daddy Pig? Daddy, calls Peppa. Where are you? Peppa and George spot something behind the haystack. Daddy, cries Peppa and George. Daddy Pig chuckles. It really is all fun and games here at the farm, he says. Daddy Pig loves having fun at the farm. Everyone loves having fun at the farm. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa goes skiing. It is a lovely snowy day, and Peppa's family are going skiing. First, they have to take a ski lift all the way to the top of Snowy Mountain. Oh, that looks a bit high, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig does not like heights. Everyone gets on the ski lift. This is fun, calls Peppa, and she sings a little song. In the air, in a chair, snow is falling everywhere. Daddy Pig does not think it's fun. He does not like the way the ski lift clunks and clanks. At the top of Snowy Mountain, Daddy Pig falls out of his chair and into the snow. Are you all right, Daddy? Cries Peppa. Yes, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. Let's get you to your skiing lesson. Madame Gazelle starts the ski lesson. Peppa, George, and all their friends learn how to start and stop. Whee! Skiing is fun, cries Peppa, as they go down the baby slope. Can we see you ski now, Madame Gazelle? asks Peppa. Oh, I don't know, replies Madame Gazelle. Please, everyone cries. Very well, says Madame Gazelle. Voila! Madame Gazelle does a magnificent ski jump, and everyone claps and cheers.
Hooray!
That was amazing, says Peppa. Thank you, says Madame Gazelle. I was the world champion at skiing and I won this cup. Ooh, everyone says. Which mummy or daddy would like a go? asks Madame Gazelle. I will, says Mummy Pig. Where does this path lead? Down the mountain, cries Madame Gazelle. Help! Where are the bricks? Shouts Mummy Pig. She can't stop, cries Daddy Pig. Let's catch up with her in the coach. Mummy Pig skis down the mountain, along the road and past the shop. Hey! Stand back, cries Mummy Pig. She even does a loop-the-loop at top speed. Finally, everyone catches up with Mummy Pig. She has crashed straight into a snowdrift. You're a walking, talking snowman, Mummy, laughs Peppa. I have never seen such amazing skiing, says Madame Gazelle. This cup belongs to you now.
Hooray!
Everyone cheers as Madame Gazelle presents Mummy Pig with her world champion cap. Hooray! says Peppa. My mummy is a skiing champion. The Peppa Pig, Shake, Rattle and Bang. Peppa and her friends are at playgroup. Today, children, we are going to learn about instruments that you shake, rattle and bang, says Madame Gazelle. First, choose an instrument from the music room.
Wow!
The excited children run into the music room. They already know a lot of the instruments, but some they have never seen before. I've got a big drum, says Peppa. Ah, the bass drum, replies Madame Gazelle. Peppa marches around the room, hitting it with 2 drumsticks. The bass drum is very loud. Freddy Fox has found something a bit quieter. This is a triangle, he tells everyone. My dad sells these in boxes of 10. Thank you, Freddy, says Madame Gazelle. I will remember that. What are those? asks Emily Elephant. These are castanets, says Madame Gazelle. My dad sells them in boxes of 5, says Freddy. Madame Gazelle shows Emily how to play the castanets by tapping the wooden pieces together. Rebecca Rabbit tries the cymbals. Now you know what your instruments sound like. We can play them all together, says Madame Gazelle. First, Madame Gazelle teaches the children how to listen to each other and keep in time by clapping their hands. Well done, everyone, says Madame Gazelle. Now we will learn to play our instruments together.
Hooray!
The parents come to pick up their children. May I present the Shake, Rattle and Bang Orchestra, says Madame Gazelle. Peppa and her friends play the tune wonderfully. Bravo, shouts Daddy Pig. Madame Gazelle asks the parents to join the band. She used to teach them when they were little. All the parents choose an instrument. Daddy Pig sets up the drums and sits behind them. It's quite hard, Daddy, says Peppa, showing him how she bangs her drum. It is Daddy Pig's turn. He plays perfectly. You can play the drums, gasps Peppa. I am a bit of an expert at drumming, replies Daddy Pig. Now for a tune, says Madame Gazelle. She picks up a guitar and jumps onto the stage. All the parents and children play along with her. My daddy can shake, rattle and bang, says Peppa proudly. The end. Peppa Pig, Sleepy Princess. It's bedtime. What Peppa and George need is a special story to help them fall asleep. It is bedtime, but Peppa is not sleepy. Can you tell us a story, Daddy? Of course, says Daddy. As long as you promise to go to sleep straight after. We promise, cries Peppa. Once upon a time, in a castle, begins Daddy Pig, there lived a little princess called the Sleepy Princess. Was the Sleepy Princess pretty? asked Peppa. Yes, replies Daddy Pig. She loved looking at herself in the mirror all day long. Who else was living in the castle? asked Peppa. Well, says Daddy Pig. The others in the castle were the small prince, Queen Mummy, and King Daddy, says Mummy Pig.
Wow!
That's right, says Daddy Pig. And there was a dragon at the castle, continues Daddy Pig. dinosaur? Asked George. Oh yes, it wasn't a dragon, it was a dinosaur, says Daddy Pig. A huge, fierce dinosaur. Roar! Cries George. Oh dear, says Mummy Pig. Maybe the dinosaur wasn't quite that fierce, Daddy Pig. Sorry, George, says Daddy Pig. No, the dinosaur was very gentle. He ate lots of grass. Daddy, says Peppa, why was she called the Sleepy Princess? I'm coming to that, said Daddy Pig. You see, it was night time. The stars and moon were out, and everyone got very, very sleepy. And the most sleepy of all was the Sleepy Princess. Daddy Pig turned Peppa and George's light out. King Daddy carried the Sleepy Princess to bed in the castle tower, and she fell straight to sleep. Thank you for that story, King Daddy, whispers Mummy Pig. You're welcome, Queen Mummy, whispers Daddy Pig. It seems our little prince and princess enjoyed it too, said Mummy Pig. Peppa and George are fast asleep. The end. Peppa Pig at the zoo. Madame Gazelle is taking Peppa and her friends to the zoo for the day. Remember, children, today we will be meeting wild animals, she says. Ooh, cry the children. Don't worry, says Madame Gazelle. The wild animals will be safely behind fences. Roar! Ah! A lion has escaped! Cries Madame Gazelle. Hello, I'm Mr. Lion, the zookeeper. You've picked a good time to visit, says Mr. Lion. It's feeding time. Wow. Which animals live here? Asked Susie Sheep. They move very slowly and live to be very old, says Madame Gazelle. Not all animals eat vegetables, says Madame Gazelle. That's right, Madame Gazelle, says Mr. Lion, grinning. Yes, well, says Madame Gazelle, who lives here? Hello, says Mrs. Crocodile. I'm the keeper in charge of this part of the zoo. Penguins, they eat fish. Ah, a crocodile, cries Madame Gazelle. Look, there's my daddy. He's a keeper at the zoo too, cries Gerald Giraffe. Hello, says Mr. Giraffe. Can you guess what animals I look after? They fly and get all their food from flowers. What are they? asked Peppa. Look carefully at the flowers, says Mr. Giraffe. Flutter, flutter, flutter. Ooh, pretty butterflies, say the children. Thank you for showing us around the zoo, says Madame Gazelle.
Hooray!
All this talk about food has made me hungry. Me too, laughs Mr. Lion. It's our feeding time now. What's for lunch today, Mr. Lion? asked Mrs. Crocodile. Can you guess? Roars Mr. Lion. Little picnics in boxes. Yummy, says Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig Babysitter. Mummy and Daddy Pig are going out for the evening. Granny and Grandpa Pig are babysitting Peppa and George.
Hooray!
Granny Pig, Grandpa Pig, says Peppa happily. Daddy Pig, Peppa Pig. George joins in. Good night, says Daddy Pig. Good night, says Mummy Pig. Now go to sleep quickly. What little darlings, says Granny Pig. So well behaved. Peppa yawns and Daddy Pig switches off the bedroom light. Mummy and Daddy Pig leave for their evening out. Inside the house, Grandpa and Granny sit down on the sofa. They share a tasty pizza. This babysitting is easy, says Grandpa Pig. In the bedroom, Peppa does not want to go to sleep. George, are you awake? She whispers. George grunts excitedly. Peppa laughs. She climbs down the bunk bed ladder and switches on the bedroom light. George picks up a spotted ball and bounces it to Peppa. She bounces it back. They both giggle. Soon there are toys all over the floor. It is so hard to go to sleep when playing is much more fun. Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig are watching TV. Peppa and George come downstairs to the living room. George and I are not sleepy at all, says Peppa. Can we watch TV with you? I suppose watching a little TV might make you sleepy, says Granny Pig.
Hooray!
The TV show is about gardening. This program is very boring, says Peppa, yawning. She suggests playing a game instead. Grandpa, can you throw us up and catch us? asks Peppa. Okay, but just one turn each, says Grandpa. Peppa laughs as Grandpa Pig throws her in the air, then catches her. You seem heavier than before, says Grandpa Pig. Now it is George's turn, says Grandpa Pig. George loves feeling like he's flying. Hiya, hiya, shouts George, as Grandpa Pig starts to wheeze. Maybe Grandpa is a bit tired, says Granny Pig. Granny, let's play it, says Peppa. You're it. Peppa taps Granny Pig on the nose. Granny Pig chases Peppa, George and Grandpa Pig around the sofa. I'm going to catch you, she cries. Everyone runs and giggles. Later, Mummy and Daddy Pig arrive back home. I hope our little piggies are asleep, says Mummy Pig. Peppa, George, Grandpa Pig and Granny Pig are all snoring on the sofa. The little piggies are asleep, whispers Daddy Pig, and so are the big piggies. The end. Peppa's best birthday party. It was Mandy Mouse's birthday, and she was having her party at Cheese World.
Wow!
What is Cheese World, Mandy? asked Peppa.
It's the most fun place ever,
replied Mandy.
There's a cheese river and a cheese mountain, and best of all, there's a cheese castle.
Wow! Everyone gasped. When they arrived for the party, Mummy Mouse took Mandy and her friends to a huge cheese-shaped arch. "Welcome to Cheese World," announced Miss Rabbit. "Have any of you been here before?"
I have.
cried Mandy.
It's amazing.
Wow.
"Oh, hello, Mandy," said Miss Rabbit.
Nice to see you again.
Everyone followed Miss Rabbit past some cheese trees and cheese bushes. "So," said Miss Rabbit, "everything at Cheese World is about cheese," cheered Mandy. "That's right," said Miss Rabbit. "And we'll start by sailing on the river of cheese." Mandy cheered again. When they got to the cheese river, 2 little cheese boats were waiting.
All aboard.
Called Mandy. "And hold tight," added Miss Rabbit, as the boats bobbed along. "Miss Rabbit," said Peppa, "are these boats made of real cheese?" "No, Peppa," replied Miss Rabbit. "They are made from pretend cheese." "Oh," said Peppa. "We are now entering Cheese Mountain," said Miss Rabbit as they sailed inside a cave. "Is it made of real cheese?" asked Peppa. "No," replied Miss Rabbit, "but this is what it would be like to sail through a cheese mountain."
Wow.
"Ooh!" cried Mandy and her friends. "If cheese mountains existed," finished Miss Rabbit. After the boat ride, Mr. Rabbit showed the group his cheese aeroplane ride. Mandy explained what to do.
If you pull the lever, the plane goes up.
She said.
And if you push the lever, the plane goes down.
Once the children were safely in their airplanes, Mr. Rabbit started the ride. "Up, up and away," he cried.
This is brilliant.
Said Molly Mole.
Look, there's a sun made of cheese.
Mandy called.
And the clouds are cottage cheese,
Gasped Susie.
I can see the whole world.
Said Peppa.
It's all cheese.
Was that fun? Asked Mummy Mouse once the children finished flying.
Yes!
Everyone cheered happily.
I told you Cheese World is the most fun place ever,
cried Mandy. Next, it was time to visit the Castle of Cheese. Hello, Mandy, said Grampy Rabbit when they arrived at the entrance. Have you told your friends about my Castle of Cheese?
I told them it was the best bit,
said Mandy. It is, said Grampy Rabbit. It's where we get to smell real cheese. No pretend cheese here. Once they were inside, Grampy Rabbit said, Let's start by smelling a mild cheese. Molly and Pedro Pony both took a good sniff. Said Molly.
This smells nice.
I like it too, said Pedro. Grampy Rabbit sniffed the cheese, but he didn't think it had any smell at all. Now for something a little bit stronger, said Grampy Rabbit, taking the cover off a second piece of cheese. He took a big sniff. That's more like it, he said. A stinky one. Pedro sniffed the cheese. He cried. It smells like my daddy's socks. And now, said Grampy Rabbit, it's time for the strongest cheese in the whole world.
Grampy Rabbit carefully lifted the cover off the third cheese and took a huge sniff. "Now that's what I call cheese," he said. Next it was Mandy's turn to smell the super strong cheese.
It's the nicest smell I've ever smelled,
She said. "You love smelling cheese, don't you, Mandy?" said Mummy Mouse.
Yes,
Cried Mandy.
but I love eating it even more.
"Funny you should say that," said Mummy Mouse. Mummy Mouse brought out a cake covered in candles.
Wow.
"It's birthday cake time," she said.
Cheesecake,
Gasped Mandy.
my favorite.
"Hooray!" Everyone cheered.
This is the best birthday ever.
Cried Mandy.
And this is the best birthday party ever.
Said Peppa.
Happy birthday, Mandy.
The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.